Gas, would like to take this moment to welcome you to this occasion, Your Excellency. Seeing that we have all survived COVID, and we are now getting to that moment where our oil will come out, because if COVID had taken all of us, we would not have seen the oil. So we need to give a big round of applause.
Quatesimu! Get the 4G smartphone of your dreams today and pay as you use. Choose from the Tecno Pop 5 Pro, Tecno Pova Neo, Samsung A03 Core or Nokia C10 and pay conveniently in daily, weekly and monthly installments for a period of a year using Airtel Money. You will also enjoy free 3GB and 100% bonus data on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months. Visit any D-Lite shop or select Airtel Money branches countrywide and get one today. Terms and conditions apply. Airtel, the smartphone net.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and the ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show. Because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs and hope. our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Airtel is giving you bigger data bundles for the same price. Dial star 175 hash to choose from our range of bigger Chillax bundles that don't expire and stay connected longer to loved ones. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Pick of the day on UBC. Objective and non-partisan.
Honorable Minister, there were a number of points. I want to start with you.
Straight from the hearts of open-minded men and women.
Money tends to move faster at night. So when people are not counting,
don't take it for granted.
Candid and authentic.
Because Uganda is not Thailand.
That's not correct, and we should stop that kind of mentality. So what I'm saying
that's
is
a trick question. Don't answer.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that.
Tell him you speak Luo.
I think that's where we are beginning to have a problem.
Was brought to you by
Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial star 165 star 5 star 3 hash to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
The 28th edition of the Uganda Manufacturers Association's International Trade Fair will be different as Uganda marks the 60th anniversary, the Diamond Jubilee. The trade fair comes after a 2-year break brought about by the global COVID-19 pandemic. In the last 2 years, there have been several innovations across the industry. This is an opportunity to showcase what the market has. Come display, come explore, come see, come experience. Come learn and be part of the Diamond Jubilee Trade Fair at Uganda Manufacturers Association Showgrounds from 3rd to 10th October. Contact our marketing department and experience the Diamond Jubilee Trade Fair. Let's harness economic recovery through local sourcing and deepening value chain integration during the Diamond Jubilee exhibition.
I would like to conclude my remarks, Your Excellency, with a famous saying, a single bracelet cannot jiggle. I remain Gasta Bukenyo Augustine, Managing Director, Beautiful Engineering and Equipment for God and my country.
Thank you very much. I think Mr. Gasta Bukenya deserves a big round of applause. Your Excellency, you're always talking about the young people. The very person who has just left the stage speaking to you before you this morning is a very young man whom I've known for a very long time, all the way from Makerere University. He's always been a very ambitious young man, and I think that in the language we always addressed you saying, the president, there's a new word we now use as young people, and that new word is gaining traction right now. We called you Mr. Tibbs. I think everybody knows, when you say Mr. Tibbs, every young person on the street knows who Mr. Tibbs is. So please, thank you very much, Your Excellency, for coming, aka Mr. Tibbs, and also to hear from us. A few moments before you came in, they were laughing at me and they kept saying, your name has now changed from Eddie Okila to around the corner, because I kept saying, His Excellency, just around the corner, he's standing in here. So if you hear them saying, around the corner, what's going on, you know they're referring to me. With us, Your Excellency, allow me to invite a lady who, in our circle of young people, believe that she needs no great introduction. She's done a great job in the ministry where she is. She's one of those PSs that you will call and you'll reach out and she will pick. Very few know what happened in the public office, in our country today. Sometimes titles take control of us. But this lady, the PS of Ministry of Energy, Irene, has been one of those people who speak life when life needs to be spoken to. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome our PS, Irene, to come and give her remarks.
Your Excellency, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the honorable ministers present, led by the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, honorable members of Parliament, if any present, the board chairpersons of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda and the Uganda National Oil Company, representatives, CEOs, and executive directors of different agencies of government, the private sector, our development partners, especially those in the oil and gas industry, members of the media fraternity that partner with us time and again, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my pleasure, on behalf of the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, to join hundreds of leaders, investors, and stakeholders for Uganda's oil and gas industry at the 7th Uganda International Oil and Gas Summit of 2022. And I particularly want to thank the organizers, Beautiful Engineering, together with Global Events Partners, for organizing a well thought through conference. When you look at the program, it covers a wide range of issues relating to the energy sector, not only limited to oil and gas, but also renewables and looking at the ongoing energy transition, meaning that this conference is growing and it's now bigger and better than it was a few years ago. Of course, the conference comes at a time when we are looking at a number of aspects in the sector, issues of environment, social governance, but also the energy transition that the Minister will elaborate on, and the position that we take as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, but also government. And it's important that we are reminded, as we discuss issues of environment, social governance, the government of Uganda has taken elaborate efforts painstakingly to ensure that this industry is well developed. At one point, we were being castigated for being slow in negotiated key contracts that were well negotiated with our different partners. Alongside the legal and regulatory framework of 2008 that set the principles that continue to govern the sector. Some of these principles cover issues of efficient resource management, transparency, and accountability, where we have gone a step further to enroll as a country as members of the Extractives Industries Transparency International, meaning that as a country we are committed to principles of transparency and accountability. The other principle that continues to govern us as set in the oil and gas policy is protection of the environment and conservation of biodiversity. So we are taken aback when we see a global effort to try and paint this industry as non-compliant when it comes to issues of environment and conservation of biodiversity. If there is any country that has prepared very well, it is Uganda, ensuring that we have the required law or legal and regulatory framework, but also all our projects are compliant when it comes to environmental social impact assessments, meaning as we progress into development and production, we will abide by those mitigation measures that are well stipulated in these environmental, social impacts. So we will continue to clarify to the global world on the compliance and the high level, the standards that our projects have will continue to attain. And as we enter the conversation of the energy transition, looking at issues of our energy security as a country, we continue to look at reserves replacement to support our ongoing projects. So we will continue to license new areas. We've concluded our second licensing round, and in the coming year, we should run another licensing to ensure we are bringing additional reserves to the current 6.5 billion barrel standard oil initially in place. So with that, the Minister will elaborate on the current status of, but I think for those who have been following the media, the other day, CNOOC successively imported their first drilling rig. So that goes to speak to the momentum. Thank you. That speaks to the momentum that the industry has attained and will continue to sustain as we continue to clarify and enable other stakeholders appreciate the ongoing work. So the East African crude oil pipeline will continue to be developed. And today we've received an application for a construction license, which we are reviewing of Energy and Mineral Development, and we should be in position to issue that as soon as that process is. We continue to also develop the oil refinery, the 6 barrels per day, and this speaks to the energy transition because that project will produce efficient liquefied petroleum gas, amongst other products, to support our energy transition plan. The other one, working through the Uganda National Oil Company, are developing the Kabale Industrial Park, and that speaks to the future of our oil and gas industry because this is a petrol-based industrial park. So for the future, we'll be looking at the petrochemical industry alongside other developments. So without further ado, I really want to emphasize, distinguished guests and Your Excellency, we and our partners are committed to action in 2020, and the affirm that we will continue to address the ongoing negative publicity against the project because it is unfounded, and we'll continue to clarify this. And we wish to categorically state that as a country, we have put in place several measures to produce our oil in an environmentally and socially effective manner. We've addressed issues of land acquisition, where we undertake comprehensive resettlement action plans. So this will be discussed in a number of panels, and we will clarify on our different efforts that we're working together with our development partners, the international oil companies, who will also form a part of those panel discussions. So for the detail and clarification, there will be a number of teams to clarify on that. So with that, I want to then, I'm privileged to welcome the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabira Sentamu, who has been leading the fight, we now call it a war in the ministry, for fair and equitable transition, where as a country and Africa, we are considered as a separate case from those who have already advanced as we attain our development goals. With that, I welcome you, Honorable Minister. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is our chief guest for this important summit, distinguished participants, guests from far and near, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me, on behalf of my ministry, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, welcome you, Your Excellency, to this very important summit. We are so happy that you have not delegated and that you've come yourself, because this is a time where the world wants to hear from you about the development of the projects that you encouraged and you started in Uganda. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you who have come from far and near. Thank you for coming. I want to thank the organizers for having invited you, for having invited me to this very important summit, and for having given me an opportunity to address you. And I would like to say that the theme, which is to harness Uganda's investment and growth, is a very pertinent theme. Having achieved the final investment decision on the 1st of February 2022 for the upstream and the East African crude oil pipeline, Uganda is at a point where the projects have significantly matured and are progressing to first oil in 2020, but in particular in April. We are looking at April 2025. And this summit is therefore very, very timely. This summit presents a good opportunity for Uganda to share the current developments in the oil and gas together with the energy and mineral sectors, including available investment opportunities. I am therefore glad that this year's edition has been expanded to include energy and minerals. Discovered crude oil and gas is being commercialized through the refining and the crude oil pipeline. It is progressing very well, and we are remained focused. And thank you, Your Excellency, for having kindly, when the European Parliament passed the motion that they passed against development in Uganda, but in particular in Africa per se. You came out and settled the minds of the people, the minds of Ugandans, that we are not going to retract, we are not going to withdraw, we are moving forward, having have come from where we are, we quite very well where we are going. Thank you very much for encouraging us. Achieved and is being witnessed on the ground. The ongoing developments have seen the creation of employment and business opportunities and civil works on the project sites. And in addition, Uganda is also endowed with other natural resources such as hydro. Our potential is very great for hydropower. It's estimated to be 4,500 megawatts. We have geothermal, which we've started, and we expect around 1,500 megawatts. We have mineral resources, we have wind, we have solar in Uganda. We are also doing thermal, but to say that all these are not yet fully exploited. So I call upon the investors to invest in areas. Made for investment, very warm welcoming people. Oil development has already in the oil and gas and is expected to generate revenue for the country, which has already been ring-fenced in the law for infrastructure development. In the infrastructure, it includes electricity infrastructure. We need to do more on transmission, evacuation, substations, and the distribution networks. This will also create employment opportunities and ensure security of supply for refined products and socio-economic development in the country. And with additional investment in the sector, we expect more benefits to the Ugandan economy. Uganda is aware of the global push for energy transition, and we are developing the oil and gas resources with this in mind. People are talking about the transition, but that transition cannot take place at the same time because we are not departing from the same point. While Uganda is trying to look for passport, some countries already have their boarding passes to transit. So we cannot transit at the same time. And this is what I have been putting across for all African countries. We accept that we need to transit, but we did not start at the same time. Uganda calls for understanding and patience so that we arrive where countries are now, those that are transiting. And I hope that we will be given an opportunity to play our part responsibly. So the expectation from the oil and gas exploration and development includes revenue generation, employment, industrialization, infrastructure development, among others. And to me, this is what I call the departure point for Uganda. Having gained the industrial, now fill the seat and be ready to transit. Through provision of liquefied petroleum gas, the oil and gas sector will also play a key role in enabling the country to meet its climate change obligations as it provides a cleaner option to biomass. Some are transiting from LPG. For us, we are trying to move from biomass, from charcoal at least, to LPG, although LPG still contains carbons. But we feel that that will be a step ahead.
Makerere University is celebrating 100 years of excellent service to humanity. Over those 100 years, a lot of people have contributed greatly to making Makerere the great university that it is now, including people making sacrifices for land on which the university was built. And we are indebted to these people. Makerere has produced great statesmen, great people in all trades who have moved not just Uganda, but the entire East African and Central African region and the entire continent. We are now celebrating those achievements, and we are looking back and saying, can we leverage those successes to build even more for the future? As we celebrate 100 years, we are calling upon all our stakeholders, particularly our alumni, so that we can more meaningfully contribute to transforming our society. Please, you can follow us on our website, www.mac.ac.ug, and there are special pages there dedicated to 100 years celebrations. So I welcome all of you. I encourage all of you to participate as much as you can.
as part of the strategy to exploit its oil and gas resources in a sustainable manner, the country is announcing the third licensing round in 2023 and urges oil companies to take interest in this licensing round since the FID and developments for the upstream and ECOP has unlocked the sector in Uganda. And on the energy side, the country is working to increase generation of energy and modernization and expansion of energy transmission and distribution. This presents an opportunity for investment in generation, in transmission, and distribution. The country recognizes the significance and potential of the mining sector, characterized by the mapping of a number of minerals in the country, including precious minerals, iron ores, base metals, rare earth elements, uranium, the industrial minerals like cobalt and others, and all this is found here in Uganda. And in this regard, the policy and legal framework has been reviewed and updated, which is expected to streamline the management and regulation of the mining sector in the country. As I conclude, Your Excellency, allow me to thank the organizers, the funders, and I would like to recognize them: Petroleum Authority of Uganda, Ugandan National Oil Company, PETAN, the East African Crude Oil Company, RSK, Sinop, Total Energies, Stanbic Bank Uganda, Deloitte, DAR, Uganda Bati, Harrogate, Firetex, Double G, MMAX Advocates, Embeli, Gada World, G4 Securities, Petronex Services, JP, the Beautiful Engineering and Equipment, and 65 years on the move. If I have left out any, I think it is around the corner to be to be penalized. But these are the partners and supporters who have really made sure that the summit is successful. With those, I'd like to take this opportunity, happily invite His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to come and give us his words of wisdom. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, everyone, for your kind attention. For God and my country.
The honorable ministers, the permanent secretaries, and the business people, and the officials for the Petroleum Authority and the oil company, government oil company. Now, thinking is not easy, and that's why really the world gets into problems. And when I try to think about the past 1,000 years, I can think of about less than 5 people who have contributed to the economic thought of the world and made a useful input. I will not tell you who they are, but they are not many. So therefore, when it comes to what should be done, really a lot of time is wasted. Therefore, since you have invited me, I will try to summarize what I think are crucial elements. In the money economy, when we transitioned from the pre-capitalist modes of production, we need to know that there are two crucial players. One player is the producer of a good or a service. The one who uses raw materials and whatever and produces a good or a service. Now, if you want to succeed sustainably, then you need a second person. This is the consumer. If you see the confusion going on in the world, you can see that many people don't understand this. Many people think they are very important, there's this one, this, but two crucial people. The producer of a good or a service and the consumer. I think the one who helped us about the issue of consumption was a man called Maynard Keynes, who pointed out that the issue of market is crucial. So I put Maynard Keynes among in the 1,000 years. A lot of talkers are adding no value, just consuming oxygen for nothing. Because if you don't solve the issue of market or production and then consuming, you can be sure that the economies will not grow. And that's what here we have done for the business people. We have said there is Uganda here, 43 million people now. Our daughters are working very hard. The Ugandans will be 100 million in 30 years. So there is that consuming group. And we have negotiated with our brothers in Africa. Fortunately, they have all agreed. When we got independence, starting with Ghana, 1957, people were intoxicated with power, president, minister, member of parliament. But fortunately, by 1980, they had started seeing that titles don't matter so much. That's when our elders, at that time I was still busy somewhere in the bush, not here, not in air-conditioned rooms, sorting out some issues. But by that time, our elders met in Lagos. That's why they talk of the Lagos Plan of Action. 1980. After almost 30 years of independence, they are such a saying that we need to change. They met in Lagos and worked out the strategy of economic integration. So that's how this COMESA, what they call COMESA now, was started. The ECOWAS, West Africa, and so on. So therefore, we, apart from the market of Uganda, we have been working with, and when we came into government, of course, we pushed, and we created the East African community, revived it, it had collapsed. So therefore, when you talk of the market, you have the 43 million people, you have the East African community, 300 million now, you have COMESA, and we have negotiated for the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area, for the whole of Africa. And really, the Africans are waking up. They are seeing that market is very crucial. So we have the consumers here. We need more of the producers of goods and services. But the two, the producer and the consumer, are linked by infrastructure. Because if I produce a good and a service, first of all, how do I produce it? In order to produce a good or a service, I need some inputs. Apart from raw materials, I need energy, I need water, I need a number of things to produce a good or a service. So, but then when I produce, conveying what I've produced to where it will be consumed, that's another infrastructure. The road, the railway, the communication to inform or misinform consumers that have got something wonderful like Asporo, which cures all diseases. We had a medicine called Asporo. It was curing all diseases in the world. So therefore, then you have other support systems and so on. So therefore, we are here to inform the business. The producer of a good or a service, the consumer, and the linkage between the two and the inputs into the production. So when it comes to what they call energy, for us, we have everything here, almost everything, because we have memorial. This is the sun and the wind. These are our main forms of energy before we got in touch with the Europeans. That's how we used to dry things, dry millet, dry whatever we're doing, meat. wind for processing millet. These ladies don't know, I think they have forgotten how to do it. To okwera, when you throw up the millet and then the wind sweeps away the omweziga, we call it omweziga. These were our forms of energy, but Europeans came and said no. They brought this other thing from underground. Banyankore did not like it initially because it was not smelling well, this petrol. My aunt would go to Ntungamo, the trading center, holding her nose that she has smelled petrol. But we found it could be used. But now people have discovered that it causes some problems in the atmosphere. So for us, we are ready for everything. On the issue of the solar, we have been struggling for a long time with partners about the cost. Because I take a deep interest in all these things. At one time, the cost of a unit of solar was 46 American cents. Oh, that's very expensive. If you produce goods with that power, how would you be? Because you remember, you need to sell what you produce. How would you be competitive? But we have been following up with friends. I've now had people, groups, who say they can produce a solar energy at a unit cost of 8 cents or less. We have now got a contract with some of those groups. For me, 8 cents or less per unit, per kilowatt hour, was the cutoff. Because the problem we had with Bujagari, there is a dam we built with some people called Bujagari. When they started, they did it without my knowledge. They went behind my back. Because I had negotiated a good deal with the American Energy Service. These were Christians, Christian people whom I had met in our Christian group in the UK, in USA. And we had agreed at 4.9 cents per unit. Then they were frustrated by your parliament here. They went away. Now this other group came, and when they started producing electricity, the cost was 13 cents. But who will manage that? We had on the side of energy, we have all. And what is when we produce, when we produce by gas, what is the cost per unit? If we had enough gas.
The gas would be slightly higher than hydro, would be in the region of between 8 to 10 US cents per kilowatt hour.
So therefore, for us, the determinant factor about the energy is the cost per unit. Because remember, electricity is not just for lighting, it is first and foremost for production of goods. And these goods must be competitive in the market. And if the goods are to be competitive in the market, they must be good quality but cheap. So therefore, we cannot undermine ourselves by promoting expensive energy which will undermine our industrialization plan. And that's why, therefore, we shut out of the door anybody who is above 8 cents per unit. 8 cents and less, apoyo bino. You are welcome. Unakaribishwa. And if we use that yardstick, then of course we have the hydro. You see, for instance, our old dams, like the one which was opened by the Mzee who went recently, Her Majesty the Queen, 1954. The one of Naruvale. It is now giving us power at 1.2 cents. The other new one, the one we built ourselves, called Chira, East, is giving us at 1.2 cents. The ones we are building with our Chinese friends, 4.8, in that range. So those ones are compliant with this strategy of power capable of supporting our industrialization. So therefore you have the hydro, as long as it can meet those. Then you have the solar. Solar is coming down now. You can hear about the gas. It seems the gas is on the borderline. It's coming down. The nuclear, nuclear, ekibaro nikigambaki.
For nuclear, we usually look at, of course, existing technology, which is old technology, that continues to operate between 8 to 10 US cents. But with new technology, we see that going down and it's becoming as competitive as hydro at about 6 to 8 US cents per kilowatt hour.
Very good. So, those are our ideas. We made some arrangements with the Russians. Russians are not liked in some places. But for us, we have no problem with those people. We work very well with them. They were here, and we agreed with them. What did we agree, Irene? Don't mind getting up and sitting. It's good for you, for the exercise.
Your Excellency, we have a bilateral memorandum of understanding with the government of the Republic of Russia, and in there we've agreed to study the suitable technology that can be developed in Uganda.
Yes.
But we also have a similar arrangement with China, so we are studying both.
Okay. So that is really, then we have the in-house techniques, like the biogas. You know, some of us have got quite a lot of cows, and the cows, they don't waste time going to the bathroom. They deposit their droppings wherever. And when I was going, I didn't go to Edinburgh for the environment conference, but I sent my message by long distance. And as we were preparing, we studied all this. Apparently, when you allow our cows and our goats to spread their cow dung and all that, that it causes more problem for the environment. But if you capture all that and you put it in digesters and you produce biogas, which you can use for cooking, then it's, you solve the problem of cooking, but you also, it's better for the environment. Apparently it's a bit better. This is what I said in my speech when I spoke. So those are the now local efforts. I don't think you need to bother owning cows and all that. Let us handle that. For you can continue with what you are doing. So therefore, on the side of energy, these are our preferences. But there is petroleum, which we now have. These technologies are very wasteful because in that Mwitanzige Valley, what they call Lake Albert, but our real name is, for that lake is Mwita Nzige, the killer of the locusts. The locusts could not cross that lake. I think it's too wide for their, I think locusts fly for a short distance and settle down or something. So you would find a lot of locusts floating there. That's why it was called Mwita Nzige. This is the name of that lake. So Mwita Nzige, that valley, we have 6.5 billion barrels there in the ground. But our company, our friendly companies, Total and Sinuk and the other ones, they have said that their technology can only pump out 1.4 billion. Oh, Banange. So all the 5 billion will remain there. We said, okay, Katonda Jari. God is there. So we said, okay. So there is that 1.4 billion barrels which can be pumped out and put through the East African pipeline and the refinery. We shall build a refinery at Hoima. I did not support the idea of a pipeline because I asked my Total friends, the man who died in Moscow. You remember that chairman of Total, who the short man who died in Moscow, and then the other one, the smaller one, and now I'm dealing with the tall one. So with all these chairmen, my question was, where are you taking our petrol? Pipeline for what? Here in East Africa, we have got energy needs. Why don't you build a refinery and we supply ourselves? That was my preference. Then they said, no, you know, that to get money quickly, to get back their money quickly, the pipeline was actually their preferred option, pipeline only. I said, no, that will never happen in Uganda when I'm here. We cannot have oil, and you find that we are stuck without petroleum when some Slavic groups start fighting. You can imagine. Some Slavs are fighting, Ukrainians and Russians, here we are suffering. How can that be? And we have our oil, which we have pumped out. Said, no, there must be a refinery. So that's why we settled on the idea of a refinery and a pipeline. It's a compromise on my part. Very, very big one. Because remember, when I pump the oil through the pipeline, I lose money. Because each barrel pays a fee of 12.7 cents for being pumped through the pipeline. If I had not agreed to that, I would not lose that money. What do you call that money? The 12.7? What fee? Minister, help me. Irene is very tired of standing up and now.
It is the tariff transportation cost.
Transshipment, what? There's
12.7 USD.
There's a way they call it. Transshipment what? Huh? Rebondo, what do they call it?
Pipeline tariff or tariff transportation.
Oh, okay, that one there. $12.7 per barrel, which I would not pay if I had used only the refinery. But I developed interest in it later on. Initially, I said I wanted to move with Total. I said, okay, this is not the end of the world. Let's move. But later on, I developed interest in it for two reasons. First of all, our Tanzanian brothers and sisters will benefit also. And Tanzania is important for Africa because under their leader, Mwalimu Nyerere, they supported the liberation of Southern Africa. When we were fighting the Portuguese and Ian Smith and all those groups, Tanzania was on the front line. So I was very happy to make a small contribution to to Tanzanian economy. So I developed my own interest in the project, other than wanting to go along with Total, but I have now got my own interest now. The second reason, apart from brotherhood, is that while we have oil here, we don't have so much gas. We have some associated gas, but it's not as much. Tanzania and Mozambique have got more gas. So we need gas. And the Tanzanian government has agreed that the corridor through which the pipeline will pass can bring a return pipeline to bring gas from either Tanzania or Mozambique for our area here. So therefore, I am now, while originally I was lukewarm, now I am more committed to the pipeline because it may be good for the integration of our energy policy, our energy plans with the coastal countries and we in the hinterland. So therefore, I encourage the oil companies to move on the two, on the refinery and on the pipeline. Now, for the European Union, you know, I spent many years studying English. 12 years. I think one of the words I picked up in those years is insufferable. Some of these people are insufferable. You need to control yourself not to explode. So shallow, so egocentric, so wrong, but they think they know everything, you broadcast their ignorance all over the place. But they should calm down. Because this is a wrong battleground for them. We don't take kindly to arrogance. That's why we spent so many years sorting out issues with arrogant people. So the plan will be implemented according to schedule. And I hope our partners join us firmly and advise those. When you go to this parliament, these are just young girls. Member of parliament, You are lecturing me what to do in Uganda, you young girl. I met them, those young girls, when I went there. I think somebody should cancel those young people. Now the green movement in the world, is good. Because definitely the carbon dioxide, because in 1961, when I came from the middle school to the senior high school, our first lesson was air. That air was 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, then something small about carbon dioxide. Now, it seems the percentage of carbon dioxide is increasing because of too much emission. So it's good that, and that one is causing a lot of problems, as you can see. In London, on one of those days, the temperatures were 41 something degrees centigrade. You can imagine London. So it's very dangerous. So it's good to think about the environment. But as the minister said, the one who has messed up most yasoko kulongosa. So surely this is just Christianity. The one who has done most damage, you start. I am also coming, but you start. Because you have done more damage. But, and I don't think our additional damage is so big, additional contribution to the, I think our people here can give you the details. But the question which I asked, I know I've got some of my people here, and Irene Batevi is one of the advisors who commands me to do this, do that. Our young people. So when we were writing the speech for Edinburgh, my question was, even when we are no longer using petroleum for cars, will petroleum be useless? What was our question, our answer, Irene? Even when we are no longer using petroleum to move cars.
Yes, Your Excellency, of course, petroleum, apart from providing transportation fuels, has other uses, like support for plastics, polyvinyl chloride. The tents we are in right now are a product of petroleum. Although there is ongoing research to see how we can even replace that, it will take some time for that to break through commercially. So the petrochemical industry will remain very relevant. And as we move away from transportation fuels to electric vehicles, we'll still have to apply this petroleum for the petrochemical industry, polyester, polyvinyl chloride. And
the shirt I'm putting on is partly petroleum, polyester. Then the Kuikariri, you are not finished. Okunozia kurumu.
No.
Okunozia. Okusekura ebinyeebwa.
Okhonda.
No, okhonda okushikya obyagonda. Bakibaza bata.
Murutor. Kuhonda, different with Honda.
No, but when it is, there is a Nyankole word called okonosia. Okonosia is to pound ground nuts until they are very, very fine. Now, Batebe went away without Kunozia the issue. How do they say it in Rutoro? Okunozia.
Okunoza.
Huh? Chirumu? Awatoro balinka hano. Abaganda bakita kugonza. Abaganda bagera batya. Okunozia wekiri. Nalisimenta abaganda bano bannankoli. Baito mu Rutoro bakibaza bata.
Okunoza.
So it is the same word. Apparently, Irene Batebe is born in the town. Some of the words she doesn't know. But she went away without, I want you Okunozia, that thing. Okunozia, once we are no longer using petrol for driving cars, what are the other uses? So everybody should know.
Yes, so in addition to the petrochemical products, there are many other uses. We do apply some of these petrol-based products as coating for our medicine. Some of the medicines we take, that coating has some petroleum, but also the petroleum jelly we apply, the lotions, and other uses. There are quite a number. The tires that we drive, that we use on our vehicles. It is a whole array of uses for this particular product. Pharmaceuticals.
For the fertilizers.
Fertilizers and of course bitumen for our tarmac, etc.
So therefore, thank you so much. Thank you. So therefore, really, petroleum is here, will be useful for a long time. And remember, the carbon dioxide people are crying about now in the atmosphere. The fact of the matter is that when I was in the secondary school, and here I will have to take advantage of my sister, Professor Murema, Professor Jane Murema. When I was in that secondary school, when we go there, we said for the A level, they would talk of organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry. I said, what is this? Now you, my chemistry people, come and tell us what. Ani anatusomesa kwa hicho. Oyagala kusomesa mwanyinaze. Tusomese. Oba abana bato bamuyambeko. Abana muyambe senga. Inorganic chemistry versus organic chemistry. There's what they told me at Antara, but I will not tell you. I want to hear what you say first.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Inorganic chemistry would include, for example, mixtures of salts, so minerals that you'd extract from the ground, and then you'd have combinations of them, usually in solution with water, but sometimes organic solvents, and then they produce compounds, inorganic compounds that do not have carbon and hydrogen in them.
You see, I'm not as ignorant as I look. That's what I was looking for. At Ntare, they told me that organic chemistry, hold on, you can develop your oxomesauko. They told me that organic chemistry involves all those materials that involve carbon. And that carbon is present in all living things.
Yeah.
All living things, plants or animals, have carbon in them. Is that correct?
Yes, carbon, hydrogen, but also oxygen, of course, nitrogen, sulfur is in all living beings, including plants and animals. But that would be organic chemistry.
But would, if carbon is not present, but some other things, for instance, is water organic or what?
No, water is not defined as organic. That's just H2O. That's hydrogen.
Now you see, so carbon, you see my entire chemistry. Carbon must be there for something to be, because H2O is oxygen and hydrogen.
Correct.
But you don't call them organic.
No.
So the organic is with the carbon.
Yes.
Carbon is in all living things, plants or animals. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So don't think that I'm as ignorant as I look. So the problem is not carbon, because as you hear, carbon is in all living things, animals, plants. So the problem has been the misuse by greedy groups or people who did not study enough. Otherwise, you know very well that manufacture of food, the plants take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and manufacture through photosynthesis, manufacture food. So that's really not the problem is the misuse by these groups. So therefore, we, as long as we use properly, we shall be able to maintain value for our petroleum. So I thank you very much. I just came to exchange ideas. I don't know what you wanted to hear from me, but I think I have told you one or two things. And the main point is that we are moving forward with our program. The European Union Parliament have got enough work to do in their own place. I would advise them to spend a bit more time solving the problems of our people there, because some of our people are there in Europe and live in East Africa. East Africa has got capable people who know what to do. Thank you very much. Katonda wabere.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for those very wonderful words of wisdom to the energy sector. And I don't think we have any more questions for you this afternoon, but other than to just say thank you very much. Unless, Your Excellency, you want to give us some push-ups so that we can get into the production of oil and gas quickly. That would be nice. Yes. Otherwise, could we please rise up for the national anthem? Thank you very much. I would like to have a photo op. Can we please have the following people join the stand for the photo opportunity, led by our Energy Minister, Dr. Ruth Nankabira, Honorable, followed by Gasta Bukenya, the organizer, UNOC, Mr. Manuel Katongole, Dr. Mulemwa, Chairperson Paul, Mr. Philip Gruex, GM Total Energy, Mr. Chen, CEO Sinok, Ms. Irene Batebe, PS Ministry of Energy, Mr. Martin Tiffend, MD, ECOP, Mr. Giles, GM Slumberger, Ms. Proskovia Nabanja, CEO UNOC, Mr. Ernest Rubondo, ED PAU, Mr. George Arodi, CEO Uganda Bati, and the MD of Total Uganda, and ECOP, please join the photo opportunity. And it's okay for us to say Malakwang or Ishabwe so that there's at least smiling. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be here this afternoon and for opening up this conference. The Honorable Minister and the rest of the party will lead His Excellency the President to the motorcade, and then those of us who are still here after the motorcade of the President has left, we will be transitioning from here to the hall and getting into the real business of pumping oil or building that oil infrastructure that we've been talking about. That discussion will go into our Katonga Hall, so please wait for the motorcades to leave and then you'll be clear to cross. Thank you very much. Right, as the motorcade cross and exit the entrance, please hold on. I'll be able to clear you up in just a matter of seconds. The Honorable Minister of Energy and the PS and Gasta will lead us straight to the hall where the business is going to take place. And I will be announcing the first panel discussion, the keynote address from Katonga Hall. All right.